I'm going to butcher the story a little bit, but I'll give it my best shot. There's a culture that comes out of Russia. It's called the ringing cedars. And I heard about this on the Alex Zach podcast. And the ringing cedars was, so let's see if I could explain this correctly. There's these cedar trees that grow in Siberia. And after 250 years, they give off a certain frequency. And anybody who's around these trees at that time of the 250 year mark, like they literally start ringing. Like there's a harmonic sound that these trees are giving off. And anybody who's around these trees is now getting absorbed with the codes of these trees. And there was this woman named Anastasia, and that's who there's a book series that was written about it. And Anastasia was around these ringing cedars, and she absorbed all these codes from the trees. And she ends up meeting this guy who's totally opposite of her. He's like an accountant, and he's totally left brain dude, and all this kind of stuff. He might not actually be an accountant, but he's a left brain guy. And he meets Anastasia, and his whole life is turned upside down because she just has all the codes. And she's living in nature. She's harmonic with everything. She's completely in tune with nature all the time, and totally transforms this guy's life. And he just can't believe. And she's like in total perfect health, and she sings, and she's all these things. And she's like basically an angelic being that has eternal knowledge. And it's all because of the harmonic frequency that these trees give off. So now there's these book series called Anastasia and the Ringing Cedars. I think there's like 10 books, and they've sold like 30 million copies in the world. I think 14 or 15 million in Russia. And now there's subculture in Russia that's going out, and what these people do is they live in nature, and you got, I think it's half an acre of land or something like that, 1 or 1.5 acres of land to yourself, and you just live on the land. You don't work, all you do is you work on your land. You maintain your property, you grow trees, you garden, you do all this stuff. All the food that you grow is on your land, and you become one with the land. And when you pass away, they say that your consciousness just goes into the nature. And then when a new spirit is born, or a new human is born, the spirit from the land now goes back into this one, and you're back. So it's been this amazing book series that I started reading, and it just shows me this whole other path of life that's possible. And people are doing this right now, and they seem like the happiest people ever. There's no matrix world, there's no consumerism. They're just living off the land, and they're the happiest, healthiest people around.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Because it seems pie in the sky, like, oh, how could I do that? Somebody's watching or listening, they're like, how do I do that? I want that.
Right.
And the way I might step in stage towards that would be become really great at being of service in whatever thing you love. For you, it's eons, it's functional mushrooms, it's this amazing tech. For me, it's having these conversations at scale where messages get out to the world, and I can sleep at night and feel good about it.
Yeah.
These are the ways we be of service, and then we get paid for it eventually.
Yeah.
To quote Alan Watts, one of my best mentors, if there was ever one dude, Alex, that I would love to interview, it'd be fucking Alan Watts. Can you imagine what he would say now?
Oh, dude.
He's
my favorite too. So.
If Alan Watts could talk now, I wonder what he would say. I wonder if he would still say the same thing that he said to the vocational students about what the guidance he would give them for work. He would tell students, what is it that you desire? What is it that makes you itch?
Right.
Well, do that and become so good at that eventually you get paid.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be singing, dancing, horseback riding, instructing, functional mushrooms company, whatever it is. It's this intention that emanates, like the same way that God emanates throughout the eons. Things emanate through us if we have the courage to follow it. And it's no judgment on somebody that doesn't have the courage to follow it, because courage does not come when you're going on the path. Courage comes when you actually step foot on it. It's not like we're built up with courage and we don't have any fear when we're approaching our dream. Like, it can be really daunting. It can be really fucking hard. But where I'm going with this is, like, if that's somebody's dream, if they want to go live out in the forest and be around these trees that sing to them, what an amazing life that could be. Just begin the journey and begin it anyways, because the time's going to pass no matter what.
Yeah.
So you may as well do something that you enjoy, that you love,
100%.
Because you could be having this same thought process or this same mental construct 10 years from now. And you could say, 10 years ago, I heard a podcast and they were talking about following your dream and aligning yourself with the wisdom of nature. I wonder what my life could have been like if I just followed that hit, that message. that hit is alive in you right now, whatever that hit is.
It is.
You know, and it could be a code that you've found in yourself that connects you to God. I know that you're a very faith-based man.
For sure.
And that is a huge role to play if you look at the quality of life in blue zones as well. It wasn't that they all lived to 100, you know, blue zones being where there's the most centenarians, people that live above 100. And it wasn't actually just the food. It was community, and it was a belief, a specific belief in higher power. That was what made them live over 100.
I believe
it wasn't actually just their food or their water or things like that. Don't go anywhere. Click the link on this screen. If you love that clip that you just watched, you're going to absolutely love this full-length video. You just have to tap the little icon on the screen. While you're at it, subscribe.